This buck lineup wins me 97% of my cafe games. And in today's video, I'll be going over 10 plus solo queue strats that you need for your ranked games. Let's get into the video. First of all, let's go over that buck strat that I just showed you. This strat is for Cafe Dostoevsky. This strat is if they're playing kitchen. So what you want to do is go to the 3rd floor. And then what you can do is open up one part of the floor, ADS, and open up the other part of the floor with one shot. It's very, very easy to do. And as you can see from what I'm about to do, you can get very quick with it. So it's just as fast as normal vert as you can see, but it's even better because it's so hard for them to shoot you, while it's so easy for you to see them. It's very, very nice. Now usually this multi-level vert will get me a free kill because overcocky defenders will peek it and die, so once you've gotten a kill or two from here and you've applied enough pressure, move down to the 1st floor. Or I guess this is the 2nd floor, but you know what I mean. Then you're actually going to get on your vert and start doing all of the rest of the vert for the site just to apply pressure. You're not really looking to get kills here. So as soon as you make your vert, immediately switch to a different thing and make vert there. You're really just trying to open up as many angles as possible for the next part of the strat. But one very, very important angle is the one right here, where you shoot behind K3 and then you open up the wall right here. This will allow you to see anybody that's behind coffee in the other objective. As you can see, I'm on my drone inside of kitchen, and you can clearly see me whenever I peek these holes all the way back here. So anybody behind the coffee table, maybe trying to contest the double door, you can easily get a kill on. It's a great angle. The cool thing that Buck also has on other vertical operators is that he has hard breaching charges. So pretending that this hatch is reinforced, which it typically is, you can also get the hatch. This allows you to not only play vert, but also get the hatch in one single operator. So doing all of this versatility on one operator is great for solo queue. Not only can you play vert to apply pressure, but if you actually want to go for a site execute, you don't have to walk around all of the staircases and that wastes time. You can instead just get the hatch open, drop the hatch with your shotgun out, and kill anybody trying to contest you. It's very easy to do. Then you can plant behind the bomb or have your teammate do it while you cover, and it's an easy round win a lot of the times. An even better strat though is this castle strat for top floor piano. As you can see, the first 2 castle barricades will go on the piano windows. Super simple. And then one on this window. And that looks about right. The goal of having these 2 things castled is so that you can sit behind here and contest something that I'll show you right now, which is the top of this wall just like this. When you shoot open the little sliver of the top of the wall, you can actually see anybody on the hatch, which is right there. I'll reinforce the wall so you can see it a little bit better, but this is what it looks like. You have a very small window that you can see the hatch through, just this little tiny little pixel angle right above the wall. It's very nice. Now let's pretend that they've opened the hatch. As castle, you're now able to sit safely inside of Cigar because of your castles, while also being able to peek the hatch whenever it's open outside, killing anybody trying to ace the wall open. But in terms of where your other castle barricades go, you have 2 options. Your first options is that you can barricade both this window and this window, but I think castle barricading windows is boring, so I'll give you a pro league setup instead. Instead, you actually want to barricade this double door. Now this may seem weird, but let me explain why. This strat works really well if you have somebody playing inside of Cigar, because then they don't actually have to worry about the windows inside of Piano once they inevitably break them with a breaching charge. As you can see from this window, there's a huge angle into this box, which I actually die to pretty commonly when I'm playing a mute shotgun strat. So castling this off if you have a teammate that's playing off of it and your teammates won't get annoyed is not actually a bad idea. If you pair this up with feet holes right next to it, you don't have to worry about not seeing attackers that walk into Cigar, because as soon as they walk into the site, you can prone and shoot them whenever they walk in from New Balcony and the doorway. Now one thing that really sucks about this site is if you open up this rotate right here, people are able to see you cross the rotate, actually at the bottom of your feet, from the skylight, which is really bad for you. So if you want to mitigate this, you can always just castle off this doorway right here, so they can't see you when you're rotating. I catch people lacking from that skylight all the time when they're rotating through this rotate, because you can see the bottom of their feet and they can't see you. So this castle barricade can be pretty good, but it can annoy your teammates. Now in terms of where you have your proximity alarms, there's 2 very important ones. Because you're playing in piano, you don't want to get flanked from white stairs, so having a proximity alarm on the top of white stairs is not a terrible idea. Also, because you're playing inside of Piano, having a proximity alarm for your new drop hatch or your red drop hatch, but preferably a new drop hatch, is actually not bad either. Overall, this castle strat is good if you have teammates that are pretty easy to learn, and it's good if you want to hold Piano. So, great castle strat all around. An even better castle strat, though, is this castle strat for bathroom on border. Now, when you're playing bathroom, obviously you want a rotate into workshop. This will allow you to use workshop and hold it so that they don't get this wall open for free and plant inside of bathroom. One huge issue though is that attackers will push from this double door, or they'll push from this hallway and try to contest this double door to get angles on you. Not only this, but people coming from this doorway will use this double door to get to the right side of you and flank you from this doorway. So castling off this doorway to eliminate angles and attacker routes is a great idea. Not only this, but if you put a rotate to the left inside of ventilation, chances are they're going to drone it out. And as an attacker, if they see that there's a rotate here that no one is guarding and they see a castle barricade right here, obviously they're just going to go through the rotate. So the second purpose that that castle barricade does is it actually makes them tricked into going into a rotate, of which you're going to be holding a long angle onto to get some free kills. What's nice about this too is a lot of your teammates automatically will just reinforce these walls because they know how important it is to hold control of server. So this rotate right here actually works pretty cohesively because now they have to go through that rotate and they can't make any headholes or rotations of their own to contest you. A proximity alarm on this doorway also helps you a lot because then if they try to sneak through the doorway here instead of the rotate, you'll at least know about it. And it also makes it to where if anyone drops the hatch, you'll know about that too. Now, this is really nice, but that's just the strategy for that one castle barricade. Where do the other 3 go? Well, personally, and I know some people feel the same way, I love putting castle barricades on the 2 windows here. If you don't do this, it allows people to go to top east, which attackers can take for pretty much free when they attack this site, and get a long angle on anybody sitting on the objective. If they go through passport as well, and then they take bottom square control, they also can utilize these windows for absolutely free. Pair this up with the 2 site reinforcements here so they can't even open the wall to get the plant down, and they're kind of forced to funnel into this hallway for the plant. Now because they're funneling into the hallway, putting feet holes right here to contest them is a great idea. This allows anyone sitting behind the reinforcements or the castle barricades to easily shoot anybody coming in through the hallway when they run across like this. If you have head holes on this wall and a hole inside of this desk just like this, it also allows you to contest anybody coming in through customs. Now, the final castle barricade is actually optional. Some people will castle this barricade, but I don't like how limiting that makes my roamers' options when it comes to them getting back to site. So instead what I do is I'll castle the passport door, because you don't see a lot of roamers sitting inside of passport. You can also put head holes all across this wall and put a proximity alarm on the door so that if they try to come into passport, it's a death trap for them. But as long as you're trying to hold workshop and hold that rotate, occasionally going to those passport head holes, you should be pretty much set to win this site in most rounds. But let's say that castle's not really your speed. Then you've got to try out this zombie strat for top floor Oregon. Your first zombie barricade will go in the bunks room right here. What you're going to do is aim at the very bottom left of this metal leg for the bunk right here. Now this might seem like an okay piece of cover, sure, but that's not actually why we have this zombie barricade here in the first place. We have this zombie barricade here because if you crouch and you get on the left side of the barricade and you look at the right side diagonally, as you can see for a quick second you get a vault prompt like this, which will allow you to vault inside of the bunk. Now it's really uncommon that anybody will be sitting here, so they will never expect you to peek them from inside the bunk. It's a weird glitch, I know, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. Now, if you don't want to get shot from the doorway here, you can put in a zombie barricade on the lip of this cabinet just like this. This will cover the door as long as you're not sticking to the very left side of the barricade right here. But this cabinet kind of covers you anyway, so as long as you're, peeking just a little bit, you can hold pixels maybe, you'll get some pretty free kills. It's a nice strat. The only issue with that now is it does take time to get back into that position unless you've actually mastered the vault prompt, so you want to put the other zombie barricades that maybe you're not playing off of on the map first. The first of which being the one that goes on this doorway in case your team doesn't bring a deployable shield. This acts like a makeshift deployable shield that you can use to peek off of into trophy, and it makes it a lot safer to rotate right here in case they try to walk in from the doorway. The second one you can do is from this doorway. It does the exact same thing. You can just now peek off of this doorway as opposed to there being a shield on this doorway instead. Now in terms of where your barbed wire go, because you're playing inside of bunks primarily, you want to have barbed wire for white stairs. If you decide to hold the trophy angle though, you want to make sure that you know when they actually walk into trophy, so some barbed wire right here would not be terrible. Now in terms of where your final zombie barricade would going, these two zombie barricades here and here are really important to your team, so keeping those two alive and using your last one to replenish them is not actually a terrible idea, just in case they get destroyed like this. But now that we're already on Oregon, let's talk about this Ying strat for attacking the basement. The main purpose of this strat is taking meeting control. Usually you're easily able to do it if you go to the tower door over there, drone yourself in, and make sure that there's no roamers contesting you. Once you're here though, as you can see, bring breaching charges, because your primary objective is opening this hatch. Now once this hatch is open, this is where your strat begins. As Ying, first you want to open up this wall if it's soft, to make sure no one's sitting Harry Potter to contest you when you drop. You can also partially open up this wall as well to see if anybody's contesting you from your doorway. Also make sure no one's on your head holes, or make sure no one's sitting on bolo with a shotgun ready to swing you. Then you can start your strat, which is going to be cooking a yin candela only 1 bar, and immediately sending it into pillar, so that it rolls onto the person behind pillar and you can drop without having to worry about them being able to see you and you getting a free kill. Once you've dropped and you have pillar, then you want to throw a fully, keyword, fully cooked yin candela over the shelves just like this. You don't want to give them time to react, so fully cook it to make sure that you can take space and get yourself a plant down. Now, what better cover if you don't have smokes for a plant than another yin candela? But make sure this one isn't cooked at all, so you give the most amount of time possible before the blind, so you get the most amount of time possible before the plant. That yin candela will also blind anybody in the hallway or on the doorway in case they're trying to contest your plant, so it's overall a pretty good strategy. Then once you've planted, you can do the exact same thing if you wish to escape the little rut that you're in right here. And then you can easily leave and play off of any holes that you make, or just play off of the diffuser in general. It's a very, very easy, fast-paced strat if you want to be slightly more aggressive than usual. Something that's maybe slower paced, and for my support players out there though, is this cage strat for Geisha on Skyscraper. Now usually you'll commonly see that this wall is reinforced with feet holes right here. Now this setup isn't particularly bad, but the cage claw that you usually put down is easily findable by anybody with a drone from the window. So instead of putting your Cade Claw on the same floor, let's go downstairs. If you put the Cade Claw somewhere in this corner, right about there, that Cade Claw, as you can see, will completely electrify the Geisha wall. And because nobody really goes below when they try to take this site, at least, you know, not below in the bar area, then they're not going to find this Cade Claw. So this wall can stay closed, and as long as you have these feet holes with a player in drum to watch the window, they can't even take Geisha control. But as Cade, you still have one more Cade Claw. And the only other wall out of all the walls in top floor that's most important to get that Cade Claw would be the T wall right here. But again, it's so easily EMP-able that we're going to take this downstairs. Once you're down here, you can easily throw a Cade Claw right here, in the corner just like that, which is actually pretty hidden to the attacker eye because the camera is all the way over there. Then now you can see that this wall is electrified for absolutely free. So you have 2 great Cade Claws that are out of the sightlines for attackers and are pretty much un-EMP-able. If you also come into Geisha and you reinforce this middle wall here, you can stay in Geisha and pretty much ensure that nobody will come into Geisha or open up this wall. So overall, I love this strat. I think it's really good and you should definitely check it out. But since we're already on Skyscraper, let's go over this attacking strat with 0 for top floor on Skyscraper. Now first, make sure that you spawn helipad, because you're going to be going in the bathroom window, and that's just the closest spawn to it. Then once you're here, make sure that you drone out bathrooms so you don't die to any really weird copper cav players sitting on the toilet. Then drone out your initial restaurant room to make sure no one's sitting here, and then you can pretty much hop in the bathroom for free. Once you're here, immediately pull your 0 camera out and try to aim it in the little shelf right there, as you can see from my zoomed in crosshair, and shoot it. Then back up into bathroom so you don't get shot, and then get on your 0 camera. As you can see, it sees all of the hallways and anybody trying to go up the main staircase. Very, very good camera for your flanks. However, you still have to worry about barbecue. So what I would do is, as soon as you shoot that camera, get on it, make sure you're clear, then wide swing and shoot this camera. This camera allows you to see anybody in barbecue. So now you have 2 great flank cams for both of the staircases, which is really good for you. Once you've done this though, it's time to walk up black stairs. Make sure that you drone it so you don't die to a mute shotgun player, and then once you've droned it up, and it looks to be about clear, get off your drone and walk up the black stairs. Then what you'll do is get on your 0 camera and shoot it in the top of the staircase right here, and then back up. Once you've made sure that you're not getting flanked from any 2 places, get on that 3rd cam and make sure that there's nobody on this doorway and nobody on the top of your staircase. Yes, even after you droned it. You just want to make sure, because then what you're going to do is run up here. Now typically, there's a rotate that you can use to go into the site, but if there isn't and it's reinforced, you can bring hard breaching charges to open it just like this. But regardless, you just want to get into the site, because next what you're going to do is plant the bomb right here. Once you've planted the bomb and you hopefully have a teammate on blacktop holding your hallway with flank cams for any of your dead teammates, you should be able to get the bomb down and have information to make sure no one's flanking you. Once you have the bomb down though, it's just a post-plant situation, which you can easily win with all of the information that your 0 cams provide. It's a great strategy. Cameras that are even better than 0 cameras though are Valkyrie cameras. Now this strat specifically can work for pretty much every single site, because these Valkyrie cameras are just that good. Your first Valkyrie camera you're going to throw on the underside of this lamp right here. This Valkyrie camera is super hidden because it's on a light which drowns out the camera, but also it's behind plant leaves, which further make it to where they just can't see it. Now you might be thinking that these plant leaves get in the way, but as you can still see, they provide so much information that it's not even noteworthy about the plants hiding parts of the camera. You can see parts of top fireplace, bottom fireplace, the inside of bar, the main stairs here if you're playing for the basement, and so much more. Your next Valkyrie camera you're going to get by throwing a Valkyrie camera on top of these two hedges here, and then bouncing your second Valkyrie camera off of that one to hide it inside of the plants. If you don't do this and you just throw the Valkyrie camera on the plant, it'll destroy it, just like that. So make sure you use the bounce method. As you can see, this camera is wildly hidden, while still providing information if anyone's pushing the hallway to blue stairs and giving you a nice audio call camera. It's not so good for visuality as you can see, but it's good for audio calls in case you're the type of person to be on your mic actively. That camera too is good if they're pushing the basement, but it's also good if they're playing bar. So like either way, it's a multi-purpose camera. But let's say you're going to the top floor instead. Well, as you can see on the first camera, you can't really see much of top fireplace, which is bad. So this final Valkyrie camera going in the top corner just like this will allow you to see all of top fireplace and give you an audio call for anybody in library. It's very nice and can allow you to see anybody on the canine balcony or anybody getting the wall. It's a great camera. You can also pair that camera up with a nitro from below in bar for anybody coming through the hallway from the library door. Then, once you see him, you blow it up. It's a pretty nice camera. But this Valkyrie strat in specific is not nearly as good as the Valkyrie setup that I have for top floor on Nighthaven Labs. The first Valkyrie camera you're going to throw under this little rectangle here, behind the plants just like this. They can only see this Valkyrie camera if they've already walked up the stairs. And if they've already walked up the stairs, then they're ADS at the door and they're not going to see this camera whatsoever. But as you can see, this camera clearly sees them. It sees anybody walking in through this door and gives you an audio call for anybody walking in through the other door. As you can tell, I really like audio call cameras. Jokes aside though, this next Valkyrie camera is just as good, because what you're going to do is throw it in the top left by these plants just like that. As you can see, this Valkyrie camera is actually pretty hidden. I don't know why it is, but if an attacker is coming in here and swinging the wall, swinging the doorway, the last place they're going to look is all the way up there, and it blends in with a dark environment around it. This camera can also see both of the doorways and allow you to have any information on people who are actively on the wall trying to get a plant down behind the pillar. The final Valkyrie camera is going to go on this plant here, behind the waterfall, just like this. This camera is completely hidden to anybody coming in through the door. And it's also completely hidden from anybody walking up the staircase too, as you can see. Can't see the camera. But as you can see, the camera can clearly see me on the staircase and pretty clearly see anybody on the door as well as the side door. So it's, you know, it's pretty nice. It's not that bad. But mainly, again, this camera is just an audio call camera, because, I mean, you can just hear when they break this door and when they're walking up the stairs. I think Valkyrie cameras that have audio are just better, because they're just not going to get shot, but you still get the same information, so that's why I like using those cameras. But something that I like using even more is Thermite. Now, as Thermite, this is a theme park strat where you'll be attacking Initiation and Vault. Typically, you'll see that they have these two walls reinforced, right? But a lot of the times you'll have electricity on it, and as a solo queue player trying to play Thermite, you can't reliably have your teammates run EMPs. But there's a reliable way to get this wall open regardless, as long as you come inside of Break Room by rappelling into this window, and putting your Thermite breach on the right side of this wall, it can't get electrified. And the radius of the explosion from this Thermite breach will actually break open the wall, as you can see right there. So as long as they don't destroy this wall, which I'll be honest, a lot of high elo players will do, then you should be able to get this wall open for absolutely free. But before you do that, make sure that you open this wall too, because it's just as imperative to have this wall open in case you want to rotate to this side of the map to use your smoke grenades on the door and on this door to get the plant down behind the desk. So overall, as long as you're able to get that first wall open and they don't shotgun out the portion of the Thermite that you use to get the wall open for free, then you should be able to do this strat no problem. Speaking of hard breachers though, let's go over this Hibana strat for attacking the top floor of bank. Now for the strat, you're going to be rappelling on the windows over there. So make sure that in the prep phase, you've droned out all of ATMs and you have a camera somewhere in lobby or in break room, and make sure you don't get shot from below when you're rappelled on the windows. Once you have a camera set up, get off of your camera and run all the way to the police car right here. Once you're here, just rappel up to the windows just like this, and before you go to the top windows, go on this one and make sure no one's in your break room to contest you. Once you've made sure of that, then you can easily get your bearing 9 out, shoot open these windows, get your gun out and kill anybody that's trying to contest you. The reason that you want to get your gun out and kill people before using your utility is because people will typically just take this gunfight because everyone thinks that they're bolo nowadays, so you can get some pretty free kills at anyone over peeking you. Once that's done though, get on the left side of this window here, pull your Hibana charge out, and you're going to Hibana open this wall right here. Hibana opening the left and right side of this wall will allow you to get long angles on anybody in the janitor hallway. So if anyone is in elevator, they're kind of stuck now, unless they drop the hatch. You can kill anybody also leaving the CEO door, and anybody on the vending machine, as well as anybody in the janitor hallway just right there. It's a nice angle to have, especially on Hibana's gun that gives you the option of the 1.5 times scope, the 2x scope, and both of the ACOGs. If they brought castle for these windows as well, you can turn on your 2 pellet mode and shoot your pellets onto the castle barricades that are typically right there and explode them. Now you're able to get open all the castles, or at least 2 of them, because you only have 2 pellets left after you destroy 1, and you can get this wall open. It's really, really nice. The only part that sucks about this strat is it's not guaranteed that they're going to peek and try to kill you. So you might be sitting on this rappel not doing anything for a lot of the round. So what I would do if that happens is I'd get off the rappel on top of this balcony right here. Then you can hop into lone through the window. Once you're here with your drone in lobby, you can get on it and drive your drone all the way up the lobby stairs and into Trump. With your flash grenades as well, you can flash into elevator or into the hallway, flash into here, and now you have control of Trump right here, and you can easily get the bomb down, get some kills, do whatever you have to do, but that's a great solid backup plan in case nobody peeks off of you and your teammates die. Now, we've talked about how to attack the second floor, so let's talk about defending it with Alibi. As Alibi, make sure that you bring observation blockers like I did right here. Then, put your observation blockers on the banana hallway, just like this. Once you have all 3 of your observation blockers here, it makes any drones that they might be hiding in main lobby completely useless, because now they can't see anybody that's trying to rotate in banana, or anybody on the Trump windows. So you essentially made the hardest part about defending second floor, which is the drones in the lobby, completely useless. It's really good. Pair that up with alibi clones right on the window, or even behind your observation blockers, and now they can't drone out your alibi clones, meaning that they're probably going to end up shooting them. You can also put the barricades that are typically here as well, and then when they ever break down the barricades from the windows, they'll end up shooting your alibi clone. Now, them shooting your alibi clone is a really big deal, because it allows you to swing off of your alibi clone and get easy kills. So you can sit behind these observation blockers as long as no one's on your window, and just swing off of the information, get kills on the window, get kills on the window. Or you could sit in Trump, get kills on the window, the door. Or my favorite strategy, you could come into bottom lobby and hide somewhere, and then as soon as you see someone get pinged in ATMs, you swing them here, you swing them here, you swing them here. It's really, really nice, because if the crosshair's all the way up there shooting your alibi clone, it's not going to be all the way down here behind the fucking staircase, so you'll get some pretty free kills. But if you're playing inside of Trump off of your alibi clones, make sure that you have this window barricaded. It's important to have this barricaded because if you don't, as you can see right here, they can get on these windows and easily shoot and contest you. So barricading this or having like an Azami or a castle or something will make that not an issue for you. Now, like I said, you also want to be barricading the Trump windows. But you only want to barricade these 3. You don't want to barricade the last one, because this one is used to hop into Banana Hall to get any kills on the window players, or just to rotate as long as it's not through this door. And because you're vaulting through the window and not through the door or this window, it's pretty hard for anybody here to shoot you because the windowsills are so thick that they actually can't get an angle on you. Now, if you're in Trump, not only are you able to contest lobby, but you're also able to contest the head holes that are here, which is why I recommend you put an alibi clone behind the couch as well. Because then, they shoot your alibi clone here, boom, you swing. They shoot it over there, boom, you swing, right there. So it's 2 points of contact that you can swing off of with your alibi clones, and maybe even an optional observation blocker in front of that alibi clone to just clean up kills. It's great for my aggressive players out there. But that's going to be it for this video. Check out this next video, and I'll see you there. Later.